We're starting to get to that point in the life cycle with woke gaming where you're getting the sucky sounds at the bottom of the drink, this is where we're at, okay? It's not like it's being replaced, okay? The drinks are not getting refreshed by anything good. You know, woke's getting replaced by slop, and that's not necessarily a, positive improvement by any means. But yeah, here we are, a year removed from Sweet Baby Inc. being the household name and the central figure of Gamergate 2. They're putting out more titles, and this one right here, probably since Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, the most high profile, because Dustborn was super cringe, and yeah, Kim Belair definitely had her fingerprints on that one. But South of Midnight, it was one of those that early this year, Xbox did one of their developer showcases. It was one of the 4 featured games. It was a part of that overall press conference that ended up getting the most promotion because of the revival of Ninja Gaiden and the shadow dropping of 2 Black. And speaking of which, South of Midnight, yeah, is finally in early access on Steam. And well, it's stop me if you've heard this before, but yeah, player counts are in the shitter. Compulsion Games' latest game, South of Midnight, which has been infected by Kim Belair and Sweet Baby Inc. Consulting Company, recently went into early access on Steam, and the player counts are not good. Not good is a bit of an understatement. According to Compulsion Games, South of Midnight is an action-adventure game that allows players to explore the mythos and confront mysterious creatures of the Deep South in the modern folktale. Yeah, we went over the trailer. We've seen some gameplay before, and the trailer is, oh my god, it's self-aware Marvel humor, like, whoa, that just happened, and the main protagonist with bitchy girl boss inflection in her tone, unironically walking off screen, it's just, and then a bunch of incompetent guys that are in there. It's just a horrifyingly written trailer. I don't know if the game improves on top of that, but seeing the gameplay, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just really trash 3D action adventure slop. So yeah, it's got your DEI checkboxes, and then it's also just generic ass bullshit. So it's the worst of both worlds, okay? And it's caught in the middle, and nobody's buying. The game went into early access on Steam earlier on Thursday, and well, they put out a new launch trailer. I don't know if we need to watch it because we can take a look and see that it's not really working. Okay, early player counts for the game do not look good. SteamDB reports the game hit a peak concurrent player count of 479. We'll actually get the game pulled up, and it's a little bit better than that, right? But still, hasn't hit that 500 player mark. Okay, but hey guys, oh no, don't worry, it's going to be on Game Pass. It's a Game Pass Day 1 game, okay? That's why it's not doing that great, because people, oh guys, once I get off work, it'll improve. And improve by 20 players. Oh, once this weekend rolls around, it's going to be so much better. It's going to be great. I highly doubt it, but however, yes, those early numbers look really bad. On top of a lack of players, the game has only 19,591 followers, and it's ranked 108th in wish list. It currently currently just 126th in top sellers on Steam as well. So yeah, it might as well be dead, okay? Because even right now, I'm pretty sure, at least in the top 10, Assassin's Creed Shadows is still there, and we haven't heard hide nor hair out of Ubisoft in nigh on a week now that, hey, 3 million people are playing our game, guys. And if that's in the top 10 when it comes to sales, you could only imagine how poorly this thing is actually selling. But yeah, again, early access, most of your players are going to be on Steam, going to be on Game Pass, but honestly, like, you can just draw the parallels to other Sweet Baby Inc. games, and yeah, it's falling in nicely. Okay, the poor player counts are not all surprising for a game that has Sweet Baby Inc. attached to it. Other recent releases of SBI games are, of course, Flintlock Siege of the Dawn, hit only 648 peak concurrent players after it was released in June of 2024. Similarly, one we talked about as well, Unknown 9 Awakening, a huge budget game for, was that Bandai Namco? I think, like, it had some backing behind it, okay? Not quite the same as being, a first-party Microsoft studio that, yeah, has SBI connections and also invited Alyssa Mercante to come by their studios. Yeah, just a double dose of, well, that's against terms of service to say that 4-letter word. See you next Tuesday. Maybe the biggest commercial disaster Sweet Baby Inc. was associated with was Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League. And yeah, if we ever get sales data for a game that we might talk about here in the second half of the video, number on number, might end up contributing to a lower return on investment. But yeah, at least we had Warner Brothers coming out and saying, yeah, this game costs us like $300 million, bro. Like, your shit sucks. Warner Brothers Discovery in 2024 took $200 million impairment charge on the game, shutting down all support of it at the beginning of the year. Can't remember if it was January or February where they were like, yeah, no, we're done, deuces. Okay, oh yeah, we didn't completely disrespect Batman because, hey man, they were just all clones. Yeah, no, this wasn't a very quick last second retcon that we used a completely and totally different animation style to just slap on the back of it. You guys aren't happy? What happened? But anyways, not only does South of Midnight have Sweet Baby Inc. going against it, but the company itself made headlines last year for community manager Katie Robinson declaring she hates gamers after previously stating white male gamers were a mistake. Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about gameplay. Like, this game just is, it never looked good. And then the development behind the scenes, something we talked about even earlier than that, was this was supposed to be something completely and totally different, okay? All of the creatives aside, and it wasn't until some grifter blew into town, okay, at the request, okay, and also has connections to Kim Bel-Air herself, came in and just decided, well, what if we just make it about a black woman? And they're like, no, we're doing something totally different. Y'all are racist. It's like, all right, we'll just go ahead and do this, and nobody was happy. Complaints were coming out behind the scenes. I think Grum's recently put out a thread on it and just refreshed everybody's memory, but I've done a video on it, and yeah, it looked very promising. Same with Flintlock, actually. Like, Flintlock being an atrocity is 648 peak concurrent players. Like, that game could have been good. Unknown 9, like, I don't think that one was ever going to be good. Like, Buggy Disaster, all, just really, really hearkening to other strong games coming out at that time of, like, Star Wars Outlaws, okay? Those 285 players, a lot of them were probably reviewers, but, if people were unironically buying the game, they were probably also, satisfied with KVS as well. But yeah, I don't see this game really doing all that well. And yeah, Microsoft, I don't even know if they'll acknowledge this because they do a really shitty job at marketing their games after release. The only one that they're really putting into overdrive when it comes to getting the word out on is not Doom Eternal, sorry, that was the second one, but Doom the Dark Ages, which is, it's set to release, I think, this month or in May or something like that. And yeah, it looks really good, man. It looks really good. I still have to get around to play Eternal, and I actually have to finish 2016. I really enjoyed 2016. I have Eternal. It's just, I don't know, man. I have an enormous back catalog, so whenever I see games like this flop, I just know that I don't really need to restock it with games that I do end up completing. And especially, if Nintendo's going to be setting the trend where we're going to have, like, triple-digit price tags on games coming out, it's like, nah, that's all right. I'm kind of fine. I got like 1,000 games on Steam. I have all of my old games that I don't need to download the rest of it off the internet that I can go ahead and play. I'm pretty much set for a lifetime. At 35, I can go back and play all of the games that have released in the previous 35 years and not even get close to finishing a fraction of them. So yeah, I'll be fine. But it looks like, at least with yet another SBI disaster, the industry is healing. Okay, because I've got my eye on Sony, right? Like, I'm not a Sony fanboy in any sense of the word, okay? Like, I like my JRPGs. It's probably my favorite genre. I like my turn-based stuff. I also like the action stuff that they're doing as well, for the most part. But just because their home was normally on the PlayStation, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5, that's the only reason why I got all of those consoles, was to play Final Fantasy games, Kingdom Hearts games, at least for a little while before 3 came out, which they're really going to have to sell me on for in order for me to get jazzed, and especially if it comes out on PC, it's like, nah, I don't really need to fire up the old PS5 clown box ever again. But Sony, with them shuffling their leadership structure earlier this year, and also divesting some power away from their American branch, they look like they might be back in the business of, I don't know, just making games and not pushing ideology. And this right here, if it is to believe to be true, okay, and I don't think that there's any reason not to go along with this, because Sweet Baby Inc. reportedly dropped by Sony as gaming giant cancels several projects with SBI involvement. And there's probably also another reason that we haven't heard any substantial updates from Insomniac, because we know that they have several Marvel projects that are in development. That Wolverine game that looks, dog rough, and then I think they had like a Venom game or something in development, and then of course Spider-Man 3. All of those SBI SBI attached. It's just we haven't heard much out of them. Well, hell, last thing we heard about Sony proper was at the beginning of 2024 was like, yep, no first-party titles coming out in calendar year 2024. Don't expect anything until May of 25. And it's like, well, we're about a month removed. And when it comes to a proper Sony state of play, I mean, like if they want to capitalize on a bunch of gamers being upset with the Nintendo announcement, now would be time to strike while the iron is hot. And, you know, Sony is an awful good counterpuncher. Case in point, when Microsoft dropped the ball with the Xbox One reveal, you know, the PS4 is still going to be one of the best console reveals, if not the best console reveal of all time, just for how they handled that. They could really strike while the iron in big budget gaming is ice fucking cold. But yeah, no, hey man, if you want to go ahead and relight that forge, be waiting. It's been a long time coming, but it looks like the industry finally may be waking up. According to a verified insider speaking to Gothic Therapy YouTube channel, Sony has allegedly begun canceling contracts specifically involving controversial narrative company consulting firm Sweet Baby Inc. The insider, who has provided accurate information to Gothic Therapy host, master of the TDS, and Writing Raven in the past, claims these weren't random cuts. They were deliberate, targeted terminations of in-development projects that Sweet Baby Inc. embedded in them. Check out the full video. Go ahead and do that at your own leisure. We'll just go ahead and simply get the recap. But okay, SBI God of War project reportedly among the cancellations. Well, that's good, because, okay, the way that, without getting into too many spoilers, this character right here could end up playing an integral role as to what happens with one potential storyline moving forward. Like I said, I want to tread lightly, because despite what a bunch of these anti-woke crusaders will have you believe, God of War Ragnarok is, you know, it's story-wise. I haven't played it, but watched a lot of gameplay, and I've consumed the story. It's fairly spectacular, all things considered, man. It's one of the best stories that have been put to a video game in a very long time. But yeah, one of the more, you know, arduous parts, you know, the 2-minute walk and talk listening to a black Angrboda deride Atreus. It's like, yeah, we could probably do without that. That's what everybody says. But no. Soy Kratos, Greek one was better because, you know, he was motivated by the death of his family. And so him wanting to, you know, get a second chance at raising a proper family. Why would he evolve as a character? No, that just makes him soy and gay apparently, but whatever, man. Yeah, well, there could have been a hiccup if they decided to go, okay, Santa Monica Studios, who still for, oh no, right, didn't they shit canner Alana Pierce for at least for one point in time, right? Like I worked on God of War cookbook, but yeah, no, Santa Monica Studios, okay, do however they want to move forward, okay, if they want to go do Egyptian gods, or if they want to go the walk and talk simulator over here with another character and Angrboda, you want to go ahead and do that? It could be interesting, but yeah, getting SBI out of here, who is very heavily linked, you know, to this iteration of the character, it's probably what ended up getting shit canned. According to Gothic Therapy Insider, one of the projects canceled may have been a follow-up to God of War Ragnarok, that the source wouldn't confirm whether it was a DLC spinoff or a full sequel focused on, well, I guess they're just going to go ahead and say it right there, Atreus/Loki. Yeah, only that it had SBI attached and that Sony may have pulled the plug. Yeah, justifiably so. This is significant, not only because of the franchise's importance to Sony. Yeah, you know, if Sony had any sense about them, and it'll be interesting moving forward. Like, what are they going to be pushing as the face of the company? Because there is one obvious decision, okay, if they want to go ahead and make the face and the mascot of a company, or if they want to continue to push pudgy ass, you know, Nikocado, Aloy Kato, okay, if they want to go ahead and try to make her a thing. Like God of War, wildly popular. Aloy sold one fucking game. Make your choice. But yeah, if they're going to be down with, you know, taking out all of the divisive politics, I think we'll be seeing more of Dad of War. Okay, but because, yeah, SBI had already publicly acknowledged involvement in Ragnarok, yeah, it was up on their website for as long as they announced their partners. If the sequel was similarly influenced, its cancellation wouldn't be, yeah, a major blow, and possibly a clear sign that Sony no longer sees a narrative consulting from activist firm as a value add. Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing, nobody ever wants to address the Valhalla free DLC that they dropped not long after release of the game. I've actually know shockingly little about that outside of a couple of story beats, so I have to watch that, and I just want to know, like, the way that story goes, because it's focused specifically on Kratos. I'm just wondering if SBI had anything to do with that, or if that was just simply the writing team that was on the otherwise stellar story there. I really got to, check that out for myself. But yes, SBI's involvement in God of War led to race-swapped religious figures from Norse pagan mythology, and a whole lot of Kratos sitting around reflecting on his toxic behavior. Fucking stupid, man, because there's shit that gets taken out of context for that game, and it pisses me off. Like, okay, all of the stupid shit about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, really, like, that takes me up to a 9 when it comes to just levels of rage, but all the dumb shit about Ragnarok, that included right there, it's like, bro, okay, you want to go ahead and share the clip of what your mother did before me is totally her business. You know what that's in regards to, right? It's not the most degenerate thing you can think of, but hey, man, whatever, man. You want to go ahead and paint your own narrative, go ahead and play your Gooner games that nobody fucking cares about 10 minutes after they're released, your fucking gotcha games, and then deride the state of the industry because it's all about microtransactions and a lack of creativity when you're just playing fucking anime simulators that have very little mechanical deviation one from another. Oh, but this one has blue hair and this one has pink hair. Such great gameplay we have here because there's titty pixels on my screen 24/7. But yeah, Kratos is toxic because he wants to be a good father. Fucking dumb. Similarly, SBI consulted on, Spooderman 2. There's another game. Yes, a game that leaned heavily into social justice causes. Well, yeah, you could also chalk that up to the inclusion of not Spider-Man, Miles Morales being there. A character specifically designed to be that, and yeah, much of which focused on cultural appropriation, teen sexual preference, and an entire mission where he played in the girl in a Spider-Man game. Well, yeah, that's Miles Morales' girlfriend, right? Like, you got black Spider-Man, or at least what Marvel wants to be Black Spider-Man, and he can only get a deaf girl. Meanwhile, Peter Parker gets Mary Jane and Gwen Stacy. Yeah, okay, cool. No wonder why your Spider-Man race swap has never caught on. But cool, man. I really hope that these reports are true, because you take a look at everything that's there, and nobody's heard a goddamn thing about Sable, Battle Shapers, After Love. But you have seen the disaster that was Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. SBI, very much a part of that. Crew, a Motorfest, yeah, that's another Ubisoft disappointment that got shut down, within a year of release, and the only one that was successful that was on there, okay? Ragnarok, where they had a minimal amount of involvement, but because Sony can see how they directly affected their sales, what they've done to the wider industry, if they're truly honest about cutting them out, we'll see them change course a little bit, because Summer Games Fest, it's hilarious to think, but that's only like 2 months away. Holy shit, man. Time flies. So does the gaming industry. And if there's actually changing trends, we might be getting out of this doldrum sooner rather than later, but I'm going to wait before I get my hopes up because they've been crushed way too much through the years. So I will be cautiously optimistic moving forward. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.